In the early hours of May 27, 2017, a young woman named Hannah Cornelius did what any caring friend would do. At just 21 years old, she was bright, generous, and full of possibility. That night, after an evening out with friends, she offered her friend, Cheslin Marsh, a simple ride home. Nothing unusual, nothing dangerous, just a quiet drive through the university town of Stellenbosch in South Africa. But within minutes, their world, everything familiar, everything safe, was ripped apart. As the car slowed near Cheslin's home, 4 men emerged from the shadows. They surrounded the vehicle, armed and aggressive, instantly overpowering both students. Cheslin was shoved into the back seat, then into the trunk, while Hannah was held down in the front. A harmless act of kindness had become a nightmare. What happened next was not just violence, it was a descent, cold, calculated, and relentless. The men hijacked Hannah's car and began what prosecutors would later call an 11-hour hell ride. They first drove to a gas station, trying to force Cheslin to withdraw cash. When the pin failed, the men grew more aggressive, taking their captives deeper into isolated terrain. At one location, described in court as a drug den, Hannah was forced to consume drugs against her will. Then the group drove again, this time to an abandoned paintball park. In the darkness of that deserted space, Hannah was brutally assaulted by multiple attackers, including one who was never captured. Cheslin, beaten with bricks and left for dead, somehow survived. Broken, disoriented, barely conscious, he would later become one of the key witnesses who helped bring justice. And still, the horror was not over for Hannah. As dawn approached, the attackers drove to a rural farm road lined with vineyards, far from witnesses, far from safety, far from any hope of escape. Prosecutors later revealed that the men intended to assault her again. Hannah resisted. She fought. Even in terror, she refused to surrender her dignity. That act of defiance sealed her fate. They dragged her from the car. They kicked her. They beat her. They stabbed her in the neck, and then, in the final moments of her life, as she lay on the cold earth, the men lifted an 82-pound stone, the concrete slab that covered a borehole, and dropped it on her head. When she showed the slightest sign of life, they lifted it again. The impact was fatal. Hours later, 2 borehole technicians driving that lonely farm road discovered her body. The brutality was unmistakable. The grief that followed would shake a nation. The investigation moved swiftly. 4 men were arrested: Vernon Witboy, Geraldo Parsons, Nashville Julius, and Eben von Nierkern. In 2018, 3 of them were convicted of Hannah's rape and murder. Their combined sentences totaled 358 years behind bars. But no prison term can restore what was taken. Hannah Cornelius was a daughter, a friend, a student with dreams. Her life was not defined by the horror of that night, but by the light she carried before it, the kindness that put her behind the wheel to help a friend, the generosity that shaped how people remembered her. Her parents, devastated but determined, created the Hannah Cornelius Foundation. Their mission: to protect young people from violence, to help vulnerable children find safety, and to ensure that Hannah's legacy becomes one of hope, not fear. Her story forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that danger does not always look like danger. Sometimes it hides in routine moments, like a ride home, a familiar street, a trusted environment. Her story asks us to question how we protect one another, how we value life, and how quickly something ordinary can become irreversible. For an American audience, let this be clear: this didn't happen in a war zone. It didn't happen in an abandoned place. It happened beside a university. It happened to a student. It happened in a moment any of us could recognize. And that is what makes it so haunting. This is more than a true crime case. It is a reminder of how fragile life can be, how violence can erupt where we least expect it, and how important it is to remember the people behind the headlines. Hannah's story is a call to vigilance, a call to compassion, and a call to never look away.
because a young woman's life mattered. Her dreams mattered. And we, every one of us, must ensure she is never forgotten.